Good morning, everyone. This is Anna from All DIY Crafts, and today I'm going to talk about using fonts and photos in Cricut Design Space. So one of the things I've kind of noticed is that you can upload patterns or photos and put them inside this text. However, when I notice when you do it with a single layer text, it kind of gets lost because there's really no border depending on the pattern you use. And then when you do use one that has a second layer, you're kind of limited on your fonts. And so one of the things I tried to do was see if I could make this work in Photoshop CC by Adobe, which I could. You have a little bit more room to work with so that you can put this border around whichever font you decide to use. And I like to put things on dark colors, so I kind of wanted to make sure that it would look okay depending on what border I put around so that I could actually see it on the shirt. So basically what this tutorial is going to do is it's just going to go into the different ways that you can put pictures and patterns inside your font for Cricut Design Space. So the first thing we're going to do is put my name in. So I'll click text and I'm going to use Arial Black. I'm going to put in my name because it's a nice thick font. You want a nice thick fat font so that it will see what you're doing when you put a little something inside here, whether it be a pattern or a picture. And so the next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to upload. Now I've already uploaded a couple of patterns here, and I even uploaded a glitter one that's not shown, but we'll show you how to use that. But you would upload a pattern, click browse, and I chose one of these. It's one that's kind of a glittery one, and I got it from Deposit Photos because I have a subscription to them. So if you're going to make things that you're going to sell, I highly suggest you buy the background or pattern so that you don't get in trouble if you just offload it from Google. If you do it from Google, as long as you use it for personal use, I think it's okay. But this one is just a tester. Deposit Photos will let you download a sample so you get a basic idea of what the picture looks like depending on the project you're doing. So I'm going to go ahead and upload this glitter blue. Okay, I'm going to hit save. Now that I hit saved, it came back to this window. It will not show up here because it's a pattern, and what shows up here is images. So we're going to go back to our little project here. And here we are, we're back. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this is Arial Black, and we're going to come all the way over here. I'm going to change it from a cut design to a print design. And then once I do that, now you see the little printer icon here. I'm going to go to patterns. Now you can see I've uploaded this glitter one several times. Not a problem. To get rid of it, all I have to do, if I've done it too many times, I can just hit delete so that I can not have too many extra things in here. So I do have a glitter pattern. I uploaded a stripe pattern and a floral pattern just to kind of see how they look. But they also have all these other patterns in here that you can purchase, and then if you have a subscription, if it has this little A, you can kind of use them for free. So just to give you an example, if I click this is what the pattern will look like. If I click this, it'll automatically go into the font. Okay, so there we go. So what I've noticed is if you don't have a border around this, it kind of gets lost depending upon the shirt or the item that you're trying to put it on. It just kind of melds in there, and I wanted something that kind of popped out a little bit. So what you need to do is get a multi-layer font that has a border. So I'm going to click text again. I'm going to write my name. Right now it's still in the Arial, and then I'm going to click font, and I'm going to come right over here where it says filter. That way you don't have to go through all of these single layer, multi-layer. What I do is I go to filter, and I'm going to click on multi-layer, and what I'm going to see is which one is a nice fat font that looks like I can get a picture in there and also have a nice border. And the one that I found was Cricut Font and Basic Shapes for me. So you can see there's a little border there, and if I click the eye icon, the hide, you can see. Now you're really kind of limited on these multi-layer fonts, like I'm not sure I really like this or this in there, but just so you can get an idea of what we're doing here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hide that border. I'm going to make this, I'm going to click on those little scissors, make it into a print again. And I'm going to go to patterns. I'm going to use the same one so you can kind of get an idea. And now I'm going to go ahead and unhide the border. And so you see how that kind of jumps out a little bit more? Let's see, depending on the shirt, we'll just go back to white. You see how it does pop out just a little bit more. And so this one you could see a little bit better. You do have a cut and a print, so you're going to print and you're going to have a cut file on this one. The other way that I found to do this is Photoshop. So I've opened up a new file in Photoshop and I'm going to type my name. So I'm going to click this little T here and I'm going to type my name again. And I'll just put Photoshop so we have an idea of what we're looking at. And you can see it's really small, but it's very easy to resize. So I'm just I clicked this icon up here, which is basically, it helps you resize. And I'm just going to pull it, and you can go up, down, however you want. You can rotate by going like this. And then basically, once you're here, you can go up to here on your text properties, and then you have so much more. Oh, you always have to click this check before I forget. You have so much more to work with. So what I've done is I've uploaded a fat font that I kind of like, that's pretty, and it has a little bit of script in it. It's called Hunters. And we'll just make it a little bit bigger. And what I really like about it is, even if I decide that I don't like Hunters, let's click this check mark again, and you can just see you have so much more to work with here. You know, even if I went back to Freshman to give you an example, I guess we'll just keep the fonts the same now that I'm thinking about it, but we'll do both. I'm going to just make it a little bit smaller. Okay, so now I have the word Anna Photoshop in here. I'm going to click this little check icon, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do File, Open, and I think what I'm going to do is I will do that floral background that I had. Okay, so I have this floral background, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this, I'm going to drag this here, and I'm going to drag it into here. And what I like to do is I like to put this window, I like to just drag it back up there so it doesn't delete on me. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to cover this entire word with these flowers. Click the little check mark, right click, and then I'm going to hit Create Clipping Mask. And there you go. Now you see we have the same issue where we don't have a border. It's not a problem. We have it clicked. We're going to go down here. So once we have our flowers in place, or whichever background or photo you want to put there, you want to come over here and make sure you have text selected. Once you have text selected, you'll notice we still have that issue of no border. So what I'm going to do, I have text selected. I'm going to go down here to Effects, and I'm going to click on Stroke. Now that's a little too much stroke. There we go. And let's say I don't like this color. Let's say I want to pull this green out. It automatically turns in a dropper for you, so you can do that. Click OK, and it will change it to whichever color you want, so that it pops out like we wanted it to. Now let's say this outline, you want a bigger outline, you would go to Size and you would just make it bigger. And again, depending on the font that you use, you can play with that. So you're going to hit OK. And let's say I decide I don't like this font. I want to use more of a script type font. So I'm going to click text again. I'm going to come right up here and I'm going to choose, it keeps my favorites up here. I'll check, let's do Hunter. It's a nice font. So I can make that bigger, fatter. I can adjust it. You can see how the flowers turn in there as I'm moving it. And maybe I will even play with the stroke on this one. Oh, I have to click. Okay, so I'm going to go down here to Effects, Stroke, and so the basic idea, as you can see, is you can actually put a border around any of your wording in here. But it must be completed. So if this is how you like it and you like your font, so once I'm done and I like this, I'm going to go ahead and say File, and I'm going to write Save As, and we'll just say Anna testing photo. And I don't want to save it as a PSD. You need to save it as either JPEG or a PNG. So I will go ahead and just save it as a JPEG. I'm okay with that. So we'll hit save. Okay, and we're done. So now we're going to go back to here, and now we're going to click upload. And there it is, Anna testing photo. We're going to click complex because we have all these colors in here. So complex, continue, and we do need to erase. As you can see, there's a white background here. We need to make it transparent. So I always start with like the O's and the A's and the P's, and then I'm going to click here, continue. To Anna testing photo, I can just put Anna, that's fine. And we'll click save. Upload image. And there it is. And again, we can make this bigger or smaller. We can unlock it if we want. We can make it fatter, depending on what you want to do. But you can obviously see how it does jump out just a little bit more, depending on what you're doing. So you can see you have a small border here. This is a multi-layer font here, and this is a single layer font here. So this was just a little tutorial on how to integrate Photoshop into your Cricut so that you can get borders around just about any font and make it your own. And also put photos or patterns into your text so that they stand out more. And I think honestly it's a lot cheaper to do it this way and then print it out on your printable vinyl than buying the some of the printable vinyls or the pattern vinyls that we see out there. This kind of lets you make it your own, find the pattern that you want. Okay, this is Anna from All DIY Crafts, and I hope you like this video. There's going to be more tutorial videos coming. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe. If you have any questions, please put in the comments below. And if you'd like to see how to do something else, please also put in the comments below. Okay, you guys have a really great weekend.